Hi and welcome to another edition of a talk through the Kilmarnock music scene. Today we welcome our old chum, Mr. Scott Walley from In the Plug Hole. Welcome, Scott. How you doing?
Yeah, no bad, pal. Thank you.
Good man. Good
Scott,
man.
see, when you were young, did you always want to be in a band, and how did the Plug Holes come about?
Always wanted to be in a band. No, I don't think a band's ever came into my head. That kind of thing. Music. I always just loved music. Music was great because my brother was right into his punk. So I'm 69, the Pistols and all that kind of stuff. And like we shared the bedroom, and he used to batter me all the time. So it was like I had to listen to whatever he was listening to, from like, punk to Furies and Davey Arthur and all that. But it was great. And what was that?
How did the band come? How did you get the band started?
How did we get the band started? Good. How did we start it? I think it was because I think Alan and Whitey were already in a band, and they were just looking for some of their folk to play.
Gravesend.
To make a band. I think
Gravesend,
they were in, aye. And they were looking for other folk because there was just the two of them that was left, and there was me and Ian that just hung about together all the time, and Ian could play guitar. Well, tried to play guitar at the beginning, so I just couldn't play on then, so they said, "Do you want to sing?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I go." So that was probably how we came about, you know.
And back then, what were your influences? What kind of stuff were you listening to?
Oh, God.
Southern Approach, I heard.
Southern Approach? Nah, it was a Legion then, I think.
We're still Legion.
Come on, get a life, you only that all.
It was 3 stones ago.
Oh dear. The music we were listening to, Wedding Present, loved them. Trumpton Riots and all that were half man, half pussy. There was always Nick Cave, always. Good. And then just all the punk stuff, like I just loved X-Ray Specs. That was one of my favouriteest kind of punk bands ever, was X-Ray Specs, you know.
Sham as well. Right?
The Sham, but X-Ray Specs, because I just loved the saxophone. Saxophone was brilliant in a punk band.
And the kind of rockabilly stuff as well, like Meteors, Cramps, stuff like
They
that.
were that was the kind of, that was my kind of, probably my favouriteest music type thing was the kind of rockabilly, psychobilly back then, and it was the Meteors, and I never ever got to see them, and I don't know why, because there's not every other band, you know, and it was the only band that I even got a tattoo in my arm when I went into the Navy, and like you would all pick out your favourite band, your favourite country. So I've got bloody Thistle and the Meteors in my bloody arm. Somebody's walking about with Status Quo in England.
You've got a nose tattoo, haven't you?
That's so lovely.
But it was the Meteors were my favourite, and that came on to later on in life to be my big claim to fame, which was great.
Where did the name In the Plug Hole come from?
Well, hence the kitchen sink. We decided to call ourselves In the Plug Hole, I suppose, because part of the kitchen sink was a plug hole. And we didn't want to be doing the plug hole because that would have meant we were doing it. So In the Plug Hole meant we could either get down or we could go up, you know, either way, I suppose.
What's your memories of your early gigs, Scott?
Early gigs, absolutely. Getting absolutely pissed and just totally enjoying it. But obviously maybe no the crowd maybe not enjoying it because we weren't great. But we just loved to do it. Just loved to get up and have a good laugh and play the music we like today, because it was we did more often than not, right, it was all our own stuff. Don't get me wrong, we did play a few covers because we didn't want folk to really hate us.
Did you play Waterline back then? Early 6 feet, was that back then, or was that later on?
I think we did play it, but it was probably later on at the beginning, if you know what I mean.
Did you play the Gateway, or was that just...
No,
I didn't think.
Never played the
Was
Gateway.
it kind of more Vicky's? And
it was just Vicky's and... what else was it we played? It was Vicky's...
Harley's in Air, you played down
Harley's
there.
in Air, yeah.
Remember
And
that?
we also played the big club out at
The Glazer Club.
Glazer Metal Club. Was it Glazer Metal?
Aye.
Played because that was Ziggy Sputnik we supported that night.
Is that a bit? That's right.
You've played with some big bands, the Meteors and Goodbye Mr Mackenzie. How did you find the transition from playing in pubs and clubs to the bigger stage?
Don't know if it was maybe kind of bigger stages, because I mean the venues are probably same sort of sizes, apart from maybe the Rock and Rollers in Paisley, which was slightly bigger, and the Beat Generator, which is probably about the same. No as big though. I think it's the fact that they've probably come down a level to play in smaller crowds, whereas we were just playing at the same size, I think. So it didn't really affect us, really. And it affected us because we thought this is brilliant, you know, being able to play with, especially, I mean, the Meteors was just...
Did they not actually play another night with them?
That's the Beat Generator, aye.
Right.
So we're up to, it was the second night.
At Dundee?
Up in Dundee, aye. And that was a cracking gig, because the gig that happened in Rock and Rollers, I'd lost my voice. But so had Paul Fenich, and he was looking for some honey and stuff, and I had a bottle of honey. It was already the mix. I said, "Oh, you have a swing at that?" He goes, "No, you're all right, pal."
Did Sham?
Was that?
Did Sham gig get cancelled, or did you support Sham?
No,
That was Barry's band, the Skackers.
Aye,
Right, so I thought he did for some reason.
Aye. No, because we were... Bob had asked us to... was that like Voldemort, who should not be named? But I mean, I'll never be thing me against Bob, because I mean he got me to play with it, regardless of any money or no money at all. It was my heroes, basically, the Meteors. So for that I'll be forever grateful. And the best bit was when we were up at the Beat Generator, and we'd just come off after doing my set, and we did really well with the crowd, and we went backstage, and Paul was sitting, and he's going, that was fucking great, that was a great wee number you did there, you know, something, you know, we could record a song we use, you know. And I said, that'd be fucking brilliant, when do you want to do it? But I think that was maybe just him just venting. You know, it would have been good if he was been right through it.
Paul P doesn't sound like the kind of guy that would say something like that without actually meaning it. I mean, I think he suffers fools gladly. You know, if he says, "Look, let's record a song," he says like the kind of guy maybe if you come off stage and say, "Oh, that was utter nonsense. That was rubbish." But if he's saying you don't like to,
what he said to us before we went up, he said, "Don't ask whatever you do. Don't get in and ask him how we were." Because he doesn't like that. He doesn't like folk ask, you know, to hang me. He said he'll just tell you you're fucking shite if you're shite, and if you're good, he'll tell you you're good. So we were fucking kind of creeping round about him, no one to ask, but wanting to really can, you know. But he just came out with it, and it was great. And see to hear it, it was just that's got to take it.
A bit of feedback for somebody you admire.
Aye, yeah, totally, aye, it was good.
it's never asked us how you thought, was it? I do you doesn't admire us, Corky, yeah?
Oh, listen, any chance I get to play with you know what it's like, you know.
How did the songwriting work, Scott? How do you form a song?
Most of the songs that we've got in my EP, Ian wrote them. Apart from like, obviously Private Tattoos, because that was written for him. Trying to think the other ones. Yeah, most of them he wrote them.
And did he come into the rehearsal room with a kind of rough demo?
He came in with the music and the words, basically. And it was all done, really, because he was great. He was great to have. And I think we still miss that. You know, and it's not to say that we couldn't write it. It's just, it was just the way it worked. And it worked really well, you know. But at the minute, how we do it now, it's kind of very difficult because I'll come in with words and we just can't get music to it. You know, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but or if we can get music to it, I have to change the words. If you know what I mean. But that's I suppose that's songwriting.
That is.
And you know, you've got to adapt. You know, and
it's a real shame though, because you didn't realise how good a songwriter Ian Belson was until you heard them record it. And you heard them live and you thought, oh, they're good. And I remember, you know, me and Ian used to go out in the Randan in our younger days. The two of us were away all over the place. But
we're not mentioning any of that stuff.
I was a single man. I was a young man. But, Ian and me, we used to go here, there and everywhere and go to gigs and stuff. And I say, what did the songwriting? You know, I just comes in, just pops into my head and I just write it down and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, that's pretty cool. And then you listen to the Social Hand Grenade and I'm thinking, he was so underrated. He was so talented.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's and you think it's really sad. It's just so sad that he's not around to see the fruits of his labour, you know.
Oh, good.
It's just.
And the thing is though, he'd be the first to say, fuck off.
I know he would, wouldn't he?
You want to get the fuck off.
Do you know,
that's
he
shit.
would. He would. You're a dauber.
You made a mini album, Social Hand Grenade. How did that come about? And explain the Social Hand Grenade term.
Social Hand Grenade. Well, Social Hand Grenade is basically Belson. I mean, if you ever knew Ian, which you do, you just need to light the touch paper and watch it blow. You know, in a group. You know, it would just go and everything would explode, basically, you know. So that was basically why we called him Social Hand Grenade, and I suppose that's why we named the album after him. And everything, I mean, it was all done for him because
it's the best tribute you could have paid him, hasn't it?
Yeah, aye.
And how did the album come about?
The album came about because, well, we were doing a gig for him. We were getting back together. We got back together just to do a gig. It was just a one-half gig, but we were getting back together. And folk were saying, look, that was really good. You really need to record some of the stuff that you did there, you know. So we did. And that's how it came about, basically.
What's the difference in the local music scene for the 80s when you started out to now?
So I suppose, and controversial wise, not much difference. We still feel folk are out for their own thing, you know, and they want to do their own thing, you know. And fair enough, if that's what they want to do, they can do that. But leave us at it, you know. We're there to have a good laugh and enjoy stuff and enjoy it with the bands, you know, and have the bands, you know, having a laugh with us and coming along with it, you know. It's totally different when you're you know, when you're going to do gigs and you're still getting treated the way you were back when you were 19-year-old, you know, and you think, what's that all about, you know? I mean, there's no need for that, you know. And I think the big thing is, in music in Kilmarnock, that's probably why we've no got it as well as what maybe other towns have it, because of the way people get treated through it, and it's pretty sad, but it can change, and hopefully it will. Hopefully it will.
Needs to be more community spirit, maybe.
Big time.
Like, if you remember back to about 85, 86, and you and me organised the
rock musicians.
Aye, we organised the Woodstock.
Aye,
we organised the Woodstock, and I think, I can't remember the lineup, was Southern Approach,
Trash Can Sinatras.
Trash Can Sinatras,
Sherbet Fountains.
Sherbet Fountains. Yep. Sherbet Fountains.
Longhorns. The Longhorns played. Roddy, did Roddy?
I think they did. I'm sure we did. I'm sure they did.
I'm not sure, but that was packed.
Oh, aye, it was great. It was a food day
You'd
as well.
be spent a full week just
Oh,
drinking in there. the guy who owned, I can't remember his name.
I was the old guy. He was a smashing guy.
Well, so it was just trying to check the venue out and he just gave us free booze. Scott spent every afternoon getting bashed.
Jack, he made an absolute fortune.
Oh, he did.
He
did.
He was loving
It was good. It was a great night.
Scott, what's your favourite places to play?
Oh, favourite places to play.
For back in the day,
Kilmarnock.
Back in the
Specifically.
day, Vicky's was just immense. I mean, that was just brilliant because I mean you had everybody playing there, and it was a gig where you could it was a gig where you could get pushed before you go in because I remember going back to the day, Mike would just used to, as if we were playing, which we played there regular. He would just say, right, guys, just here we go through and get set up and just get yourselves all ready, sort of thing. So we would have the body ourselves, and like me and Ian would just look at one another and we go, right, come on, optics time, and we'd have this bottle each and we would just get in the optics, and like we'd be absolutely pissed out our face before we go on, and them probably one of the nights that we did so well. But that says it on.
You were the resident band there for a while.
We used to have a good time there, but there was the big. I don't know if you're going to maybe ask this question or no, but there was the infamous gig with Baby's Got a Gun. We were backstage with the lead singer Gary, and he was just giving it big licks, saying that they better no start anything out there. And I said, look, don't go out there with that attitude, because it's full of skinheads out there at the front, and they're just going to fucking maul you. And they'll not touch me, they'll no fucking... I goes, please, honestly, do not go out there like that, because they're not going to touch this lass. I goes, they'll not touch any of you as long as you don't take the piss out of them. And if you're going to go out there and start mouthing off at them, they're going to... Well, 5 minutes into their set, they get glassed off.
I think Gary hit them one of them with a mic stand.
There's actually a bit in the Kilmarnock Standard.
The skinheads come into the Kilmarnock Standard office to give their point of view.
And I remember years later in the Belfield
The Heavy Drapes, Gary was there. And Richie and
was it
Bertie
you
as well.
Was you that introduced me? Said that. Do you remember this guy? And he's going, no. Was it the plug hole?
He supported
goes,
you.
Oh, aye, and he puts it in his wallet.
That's right.
The clip in there.
That's right.
He had it in his wallet, about how you get glassed off.
That's right. I'd forgot about he put that. That's right.
Gary was a good lad.
He was a good guy.
Another guy sadly no longer with us.
Scott, how has music changed you?
How's music changed me? Well, let me think. What's on the proverbial side? It's made me more confident, I suppose. I mean, it does. You've got to be more confident. I mean, you know yourself, Kirky. If you're going out there to sing, you've got to show a bit of confidence about you.
Bravado.
You're the best at it.
Well, thanks.
No, you really are good. No, I don't mean that in a bad way, by the way.
Thank you, big man.
And I don't mean that in a bad way,
No.
because you can run a crowd. I can't really do that. I'm still at the bit. I think I could do it when I was more younger. Have a laugh with the crowd, and that's probably because I was pissed all the time. But now I don't drink before a gig, because I just don't want to.
Do you know about a pint of that just to kind of calm yourself down a bit?
Nah, well, I might have a pint now and again, but it's not a thing that I don't really drink now. I mean, I drink, it sounds a bit shit, but I drink as much as I want to drink. I don't drink as much as other folk want me to drink, you know what I'm saying? And I suppose it came from drinking way too much when I was younger, and no one knew, not that it's bad for you or good for you or anything like that. It's just the fact that I'm happy with what I want to do, and with myself, drink when I want to drink, when I don't want to drink, sort of thing. So
You drive to a lot of your gigs now as well.
Aye, yeah, aye.
Give me a lift.
So you can drink.
Exactly.
Scott, what's been your highlights playing and in the plug hole?
Highlights playing in the plug hole. I suppose every gig I played with Belsham, they're my highlights. And Alan and Whitey, because they two are special guys as well, and they're totally underrated as well, you know, as musicians. I think, because Whitey's a quiet man.
He's a quiet
man of anything, you know, of any situation. But he's a smashing guy.
Oh yeah, sorry.
And a great friend to have along with as Alan, you know. But I suppose if talking about other highlights would be the Meteors would be the biggest highlight for me, because that was one of my best bands, and I'd been able to play with them and for to get the feedback from Paul, and I still talk to him on Facebook sort of thing, Messenger, because we're obviously things Messenger, and he'll send back some stuff, you know, where he's playing. He does a lot of stuff in Mexico and stuff like that. They're pretty big over there, and it just tells us wee bits and pieces where he's been and stuff like that. It's quite good.
That's nice, huh?
And it's no that, and you didn't have to do that, you know. You know, it's just, I suppose it's good to know that, you know, that he's genuine, you know, and it's no just he's playing with us and that's it, you know. We only did it twice, and he's still there. So.
Makes a difference. Takes a bit of time just to speak.
It's the little things that matter.
Aye.
Definitely. The little things, mate. Yes. The
little things. Did you think you'd still be playing music in your 50s, and what's your plans for the future? Musically?
Never an element of Sundays when I thought we were going to be playing music when I was 50 or whatever. And that's all down to Belsham again. So for that reason, I will keep it going, and we'll keep it going, because we'll keep it going to get us a tour.
As long as it's fun.
As long as it's fun and we're still
enjoying it. That's what it's all about.
And if it gets to the stage where we're just not enjoying it, and it's you know, that's when you get it's not right, sort of thing. But we're hopefully going to be recording some more songs anyway. So
did you get your sync back?
Big diggy.
You left his sync in Largs last week.
Left my sync, and I thought it was going to be up for adoption or something. Either adoption or.
You got a name for your sync?
Eric
the sync.
Did you get Eric the mic?
No, my Mike's Stanley.
No, Eric and Stanley. There you go. Who's Eric and Stanley?
Oh, God knows.
I'm going to say the.
Well, Mike Stan's George.
No, it's Eric the sync.
Eric the sync.
The sync, yeah. Don't know why.
I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm laughing. Called my Mike Stanley and my Mike Stan George. Eric the sync's cool.
Aye, yes.
How do you tune it?
How do I tune it? Just hit it with a hammer.
Good man.
That's it. Thank you.
So the future is you're going to record some more stuff.
Yes, aye.
How did that come about? Who's the main writer now?
Well, for words and stuff, it's always going to be me, I think, because they're no into the kind of writer or whatever. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that Whitey likes to do the music, obviously, and he'll come in with some music now and again, and I'll just try and fit in the words, and if we don't fit in the words, we'll try and fit other words that will fit in, you know, sort of thing. So it goes like that. That's the way we do it, I suppose. And it's it would be great to have Belsham back to get our, you know, the main writer back, you know.
Aye, definitely.
That's not to be. But aye, yeah.
Scott, it's been a pleasure, old boy.
Always as was. Cheers, my man.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, pal.
What the
Cheers.
best.
You too, buddy.